Hi, everybody. It's Greg from Doc Sports. We're back with your Docs Daily for May 9th, 2025. Yeah, we're already into the second weekend of May starting today. So exciting day today. Got some exciting news coming Monday, so make sure you stay tuned. Today is Sunglass Day. Last Friday, we did the Derby Hat Day. Big success. I don't know if we'll get nearly the shares without Griffin wearing his
helmet. Hey, I still put the helmet on, man. We can
batting helmet. But yeah, what a day that was. So hopefully we'll have another shareable content type day. But the most important thing, we're here for your winners, and we're going to have plays in Major League Baseball, NBA, and NHL. Lots of playoff action. Vegas cost me last night. Oh man, what a game though. Nick, if you like hockey, that one was one for the ages, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way that Vegas came out, I thought they came out a little flat, but no, in the first period, they came out strong, I should say. But the second and third period, they were a little flat. I would have liked to see a lot more pressure from them, but that overtime winner for the Edmonton Oilers, man.
What a pass.
What a pass. How about those Oilers, too? They took the lead to begin the game as well there, Craig. So that's the first one in the first time of the playoffs.
No, they were down 1-0.
No, they were down 1-0 that first period.
Yeah.
They won the third going into the third. It was they were up going into the third.
Okay. They was 1-0, then it was 3-1, and then Vegas came back. Ended up being it was one. They were losing at the end
1-0. Then it was 3-2.
3-2. Yeah. And then 4-4 at the end of the. And then what a pass! What a pass!
The hell with the pass! I lost the damn game.
I did too. That was my 5-unit play, Vegas. So not happy, but hey, let's talk about what we have for today. Oh, before I get to it, DocSports.com/free60 gets you a $60 free account for new customers. So if you haven't used it before, make sure you take advantage of it. You can get it. It's $30 per day per sport, so you can get 2 different cappers, or 1 capper, 2 sports. Make sure you take advantage of that. Of course, if you're an existing user, just go to the grid, get in on the plays for today. Let's start with Robert today, because of the 4 of us, I think Robert has the best luck going with the glasses. And looks like he's going straight to
my wife's or my daughter's. I'm going to give them all the love for this. All right, let's start with baseball, and I'm actually going to go with the Orioles today. My philosophy on what to do if you're not sure who to bet on the diamond on any given day. Just bet against the Rockies, right? Well, the Angels are slowly but surely getting there. They're just not a very good baseball team. They weren't a very good baseball team coming into the season, but they got off to a little better than expected start, right? Which you see happen all the time in April. You'll see teams go 500 in April and then lose 65% of their games the rest of the way. Some injuries have crept up. Again, they're just not very good, and they're trying out your boy Kyle Hendricks, who should not still be a major league star.
Mr. Former Cub,
right? His average fastball is around 86 miles an hour. He had a good 2023, out of nowhere. I think he had a 3.79 ERA. If you take out that 2023 season, I think over his last 80 starts, his ERA is 4.89, something like that. No, actually, I think it's 5.12. And if you add in 2023, it's 4.89. So for the last 5 years, his ERA is around 5. He's not a major league starter anymore. I think you're still getting some decent value here with the Orioles, who have kind of turned around. The guy they have starting tonight, he's 35 years old. He's from the Japanese league. He's a 35-year-old rookie. You like to see that happen. And he's been oddly consistent, just drawing weak contact. So I like the Orioles money line, run line, whatever your pleasure is. But just keep betting against those Angels, man. They're not very good.
I used to Kyle Hendricks, bet him at home, fade him on the road. That was my it felt like for 10 years. It's probably only like 5, but it was for a long time, and it was like very consistent. He would somehow get run support and win at home, and he would just get blown up on the road. Robert, you do have 7-unit MLB play tonight, right?
Yes, I do.
And believe August has 8-unit game of the year.
His is an 8-unit game of the year from one of the late games. I was surprised. Like I said, it just kind of came out of nowhere. But that's August style. So he's heating up. He's been a very good, very consistent baseball handicapper. Got off to an awful start. But it's just a matter of time. It's 6 months. I think he's up like 3,200 over the last 2 weeks. He's shooting his shot with his 8-unit. So he is a great buy low candidate right now.
Nick, I know you don't have a big play in MLB. I know yours in NHL. We'll talk about that when we get to NHL. But what do you have as our free play here for Major League Baseball?
Yeah, let's look at this Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks here. That total's sitting at 9.5, but the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're minus 120. So you're telling me the Dodgers here, after losing yesterday 5-3 in Arizona, they are still the underdog in this one. I'm absolutely smelling a trap. You got 2 average pitchers here. You got the Jap back on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers here. He just picked up a win in his last performance here, but this is a trap written all over it. The way that the Arizona Diamondbacks have been playing on the offensive side of things, I like these Diamondbacks again tonight. I'm fading that line in these Dodgers plus money. Do not bite on that. Play that Arizona Diamondbacks money line here tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers, Craig.
I kind of like the over in this game. Like I kind of think both teams are going to get 5+ runs in this one. It's hard to let the bet against the Dodgers when the pitcher for the Diamondbacks is 5+ ERA. That scares me.
He's awful. He's beat. Eduardo Rodriguez is beat, man. Like he signed that big contract. He was awful last year. And same thing. He's another guy whose average fastball is just over 90. You know, I just don't know when Eduardo Rodriguez became like this big bankable guy. Like I'm looking at his numbers, even the 4.74, 4.25, 3.30. So he had one good 2023 contract year. And then his ERA has been over 5 in 2 years of Arizona. He's given up 3 runs or more in every single one of his starts yet this year. So the over, there's no way I could trust him. I agree with your read, Nick. Like, it's weird that he's favored and that Arizona's favored here after the win. Like, you're definitely sniffing out the trap line 100%. There is absolutely no way that I would ever bet on this guy right now, though. Like, Rodriguez just looks washed to me.
And Arizona, I think, has gone over like 7 or 8 of their last 10 games. So they've been pretty good to the overs as of late. All right, Griffin, how about you tonight? What do you have as a free play?
We'll just jump into my free play. I was going to say I'd make an argument for Arizona tonight if Sasaki, the pitcher for the Dodgers, was a left-handed pitcher, because they hit 280 against lefties last year as a team. So I would make that argument. This guy's a righty. Not going to jump into that. Let's talk about this other game. We got the Milwaukee Brewers minus 120 on the money line, rolling into Tampa Bay to play the Rays. Total sitting at 9.5. Tampa Bay, they are another team. They play their best baseball offensively against left-handed pitching. Dating back to last season, they hit nearly 230 against righties opposed to 260 against lefties. Left-handed pitching is their go-to. Tampa Bay, they just dealt with Philadelphia and got swept in 3 games. Jose Quintana gets to start for Milwaukee tonight with a 4-1 record. He's got 28.2 innings of work and a solid 2.83 ERA. Tampa Bay just dealt with a very similar pitcher last night with Jesus Luzardo. These two throw very similar, Quintana and Luzardo. The way they snap the ball, both southpaws, both have very similar stuff when it comes to their breaking ball and their speed, miles per hour. Give me the Rays here. I believe they torch Quintana tonight. I like the Rays plus 100 here. It's a value play. I just think the Rays come out torching tonight. Milwaukee, they're solid. They're not very good offensively. They're not going to be able to back him with a ton of runs. And Quintana, just like I just mentioned, Luzardo, it's very replicate. And the Rays are coming off a letdown game last night. I had them on a 5-unit last night. They're up 5-1 in the damn 8th inning. Absolutely ridiculous. Give up all of these runs with 2 outs and end up losing to the Phillies 7-6 in extra innings. I think the Rays come back, bounce back tonight. Give me them plus 100 in tonight's matchup, Craig.
Who claims Quintana between the Cubs and the White Sox? Do you both claim this is your former?
He was with us first. He was with us first. You could have him.
When he was with the White Sox, dude.
Yeah, he was with the Sox.
He was
Quintana can roll, man.
I mean, the guy has good stuff, but since leaving the White Sox, he's kind of been, roller coaster city. Once again, Robert, another guy that gets paid. Once you guys get paid, it happens. We've seen it in every sport, especially in baseball. Contract years are like historic in baseball. I like a little Cardinals play. I know Cardinals have been absolutely dog poo-poo on the road, 4-13 on the road. But Washington is only 10-9 at home. You're getting them at minus 102, I think, is where I see St. Louis right now. I just think Cardinals are due for a little better road performances. I always say sample size can be, like your first 10 or 15 games. We're getting to that point where maybe that sample size is getting large enough to say they're just terrible on the road. But I'm going to give them another chance tonight. Let's take the Cardinals. I like them at this little price here. They've battled back to 500, which in a pretty winnable division. I think the Cardinals, and they're a team that doesn't mind adding payroll. This is a team, if it can stay about 500, will for sure add at the trade deadline. We know how they do it. Give me St. Louis. Don't forget, though, get that DocSports.com free 8-unit play. Play of the year in the MLB tonight for August Young. A couple other guys with other sports, 6 units, including Robert has a 7-unit MLB. Nick has a 6-unit NHL. Griffin, I didn't see you you don't have anything big tonight?
Pass today. I have a huge play tomorrow in soccer and huge fights tomorrow in the UFC. 7-unit fight, 4-play card.
Okay. My NBA run is 6-1 or 7-1 this month, so I have a 6-unit play. I wanted to go to 7 tonight, but just the numbers weren't quite strong enough to get to that 7-unit level. So 6-unit play tonight. Let's hope we get that. But speaking of NBA, let's go to the NBA.
The real Joe, really quick. Can I touch up on
go
this?
ahead.
Real Joe, if a team's falling knife, they've lost 8 games in a row, do not bet on them. Bet against them. That's like counter trend trading. You don't ever want to trade against a falling knife. Yes. Keep pounding it until you get beat. Once you get beat, step off, let them reaccumulate, give them a couple games, see if they get a couple wins under their belt. Then they're bet worthy. Don't ever bet against the trend. They're going right down, stay away. And they're playing the Yankees tonight. Yankees minus 150 on the money line. Drill the Yankees money line. They're going to hammer them tonight. There you go.
Well, no, he's talking about the Pirates. They're playing the Braves, and they've actually always played the Braves tough at home for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I 100% agree with Griffin. You just don't bet against the streak, winning or losing streak. I know everyone tries to jump out in front. Team wins 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to be counterintuitive, right? I'm going to go against the streak." Just don't do it. Like Griffin said, wait until the streak ends, especially with winning streaks. Like one of my favorite angles is a team wins 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games in a row. Then they finally lose. You bet against them after the loss because there's a natural letdown, right? Like you have those streaks, the balloon pops, and then they usually 1 loss becomes 2. So I'd rather do that than try and be the guy that, hey, I bet against this team. A lot of times it feels like hero points, right? Like, oh, this team's lost 8 in a row, and I bet on them, and they win. Like, I'm such a sharp bettor. No, you're going to lose a lot more than you're going to win trying to do that.
And remember, this is money line sports. In spread sports, you can bet against winning teams and still cover, and the team wins.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, you could
100%.
bet the plus 1.5, but it's not like a team's winning unless you're getting the plus 2.5, plus 3.5. You have to do in money line sports. But spread sports, this might be more time when these teams go on these long winning streaks that the spread starts to be, the spread should be say 9 in the NBA and it's 12 because the team's on a winning streak and everybody's backing them. That's a little different story. So, but let's talk the NBA while we're at it. Finally, the last 2 games we've seen the home teams finally come through. So, of course, a little asterisk in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steph Curry was not there. I mean, he was actually there, but he was not on the court, and they played like it. But we have two tonight, 2 must wins tonight, I think, for both of these teams. Nick, let's kick it off with you. Cleveland has to win, and I think even though Denver got game 1 after losing in game 2, if Denver loses tonight, it's like I think the series is over. What do you like here as free play?
Yeah, let's talk about that Cavs and the Indiana Pacers here. What I'm looking at is this total 229.5. We got game 3. Pacers are leading this one, obviously 2-0 here. And this is it for the Cavaliers. I mean, just like you said, Craig, it's a must-win game for these Cavaliers here tonight. So they're going to have to step up on their defensive side of the ball here. You know, the Indiana Pacers, they get up and down the court. Both of these offenses get up and down the court. You've seen that total. It keeps rising in the public. They're going to keep smacking this over because both of these teams and their pace of play, and how rightfully so, because the first two games they went over, but not tonight. I think the Cavaliers step up their defensive side, and this is a little tighter of a game. So I would go with that under 229.5 total points in this Cavs versus Pacers game tonight. Craig.
I can't imagine that we don't see two of the three guys that missed last game, Hunter, Mobley, and Garland. I can't imagine we don't see two of these three. It sounds like Garland's the least likely of those three to maybe miss again. I think it's more like long-term injury there. I mean, remember, he was all at the end of last series too. So be careful. If you like the Cavs tonight, you might want to wait to see the injury report, like who's actually playing, because all three of these guys dated.
That's got to be the line movement, though, right? Like, I mean, this was 2.5 this morning when I went to bed last night, woke up this morning. Now I'm seeing 5.5. Mm-hmm. I think that's got to be an indicator that all three of them are playing now. Like I'll be surprised, because I'm with you. I think that whatever's going on with Garland is more significant. But it's also, like you mentioned, it's all hands on deck, right? Like you can't fall down 3-0 in this series. So my expectation and interpretation of that line movement today, where you see a playoff line move 3 points, that's got to be that these guys are playing. That's at least my assumption. But even so, even if they all play, Darius Garland hasn't played in almost 2 weeks now. Like, is he going to be at peak Garland? I think that people are underestimating how good Indiana is at home. Like, they're a wagon in their own gym, man. They're playing with a lot of confidence. They're playing really well right now. Everyone's looking at these series like there's no way Boston can lose, right? There's no way Boston's going to lose a series. There's no way Cleveland can lose a series. Same thing with Oklahoma City. Like, I think Oklahoma City's the best team, but would it stun me if Denver won this game tonight? It absolutely wouldn't. So don't get caught waiting for these teams to turn things around. Like, I think Cleveland's in a bad way. I always thought Indiana was a really bad matchup for them. I thought Cleveland matched up better with Boston than they did with Indiana, because of the way that Indiana can score. Just don't get caught waiting for Cleveland to turn it on. And I feel like all the betting is on the Cavaliers tonight with that expectations, where, you know, Indiana was a better team in the first 2 games. Now they're at home and you're giving me 5.5 points. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, Garland hasn't played since the 23rd. Over 2 weeks now since we've seen him on the court. Now, I did see him warming up for last game. He didn't look like he was a super labor, but, you know, it's a difference when you're warm up going 70, 75%, 100%. So they need Mobley, though. The one key that I thought the Cavs had was the size, being able to switch everything and still keep their bigs on the court. Like, Mobley is like, I thought he could have won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think he's going to. I think he'll finish second or third, but like, he can just switch on everybody. Without him in there, it's like, you know, they pretty much have to play small lineups. And I think the Cavs do get the win tonight. I liked it at 2.5. I'm a little scared, at this number now, like you said, 4.5 to 5.5, depending on where you're looking at. So hopefully I hope they're healthy, because I'd love to see a game where they're healthy when it's everything is on the line. If Indiana wins this game, they win the series. So, like, it's on the line for them tonight. If Cleveland gets this, I still think they could probably win in 7, but we'll see how this game turns out. Any opinion on free play wise, Griffin, on maybe the other game?
Yeah, I'm on the other game, Craig. That other game, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Mitchell putting up 48 points. You got to win the game. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Cleveland's banged up with injuries. Let's talk about this OKC Thunder game in Denver. OKC laying 5.5, rolling into Denver to play the Nuggets, total sitting at 232.5. OKC cleaned up game 2 of this potential 7-game series in a 149-106 final. OKC had 8 guys on their team in game 2 score at least 10 points in game 2. And I talked about this. Game 1, Joker, he has to be stopped. He scored 42 points. He had 22 rebounds, 6 assists, and Denver took that game in a 121-119 final. Game 2, I said the game plan was going to be stop Joker, and that's exactly what they did. Joker had 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and the point differential was 36 points in OKC's favor. Stop Joker, and Denver is more than destructible in my eyes. Give me OKC here and lay the 5.5 points here tonight, Craig. I think OKC is just way too deep. This Denver team, after their most recent series, they're just too exhausted. OKC is going to run laps around them tonight, I think. Lay the wood.
Yeah, this is my 6-unit play tonight. It's in this game. But I do like a little player prop. I like Hartenstein over 10.5 points. Obviously, Joker's going to play big minutes. Hartenstein's really does a pretty good job with him, considering he's kind of an undersized center. He'll be on the court whenever Joker is. And Joker, this is, like you said, such an important game. I think Joker will play close to 39 to 42 minutes tonight. So he'll be on the court a lot, get lots of opportunities. Some of the keys that we've seen to try to slow down Joker is make him work on the other end of the court. Send him a ton of ball screens, make him, tire him out. I think Hartenstein will get lots of second chance points. I like the over points total as well tonight. But my top play going to be on the side in this game. So make sure you check that out over at DocSports.com. Okay, now.
Hold on 1 second. Strike Point Sports actually has a 7-unit prop play on Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm not going to say what it is or even whether it's points that says rebound or whatever, but check that out. They're locked into Hartenstein the way that you picked up. My free play in this game though, I actually like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 32.5 points. I know it's kind of playing with fire here, right? But 32.5 is a big number, man. That is a monster number. I know he scored 33 and 34 points in the first 2 games. Those games were at home. You got to think it's going to be a little bit different. He scored 34 points in the last game, in a game that his team hung 150 up there, right? But he was 11 for 13 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3-point range, 11 for 11 from the free throw line. He basically didn't miss, and he was at 34 points. So I don't know that we're getting to that point where it's kind of like with Joker, his points, rebounds, and assist number for game 1 was 50.5, right? And he went way over 42 points, 22 rebounds, no problem. So the second game, his number was once again in the 50s, low 50s, 49.5, something like that. And he didn't even come close to it. So I just feel like the market has kind of surpassed what we should expect from Gilgeous-Alexander. Not to say that he can't go out and throw up 38 points tonight, but I kind of like under 32.5. That's a big playoff game, man. That's a big number for him to expect to average.
Well, I think his key, probably, if you think you like the over, you got to hope it's a close game, because we've seen so many blowout games one way or the other that guys aren't he got the over, but they weren't playing the last 7-8 minutes. They put the subs in. So if you get these blowout games, that can be, sometimes you don't get the guys to stay in long enough. Minnesota, a lot of the games last night went under. The props, a lot of the big guys went under, including Ant went under because he didn't play. He didn't play the last week. That
game was awful. I was texting people. That looked like a high school girls game in the first quarter. It was 13-5, 9 or 10 minutes into the game. That game was awful. That has not been a good series aesthetically up until this point.
Well, the Warriors 2 series have been bad. The Houston series was an ugly game. It doesn't sound like Steph's coming back. I'm going to be very honest. They're saying 7 to 8 days they'll reevaluate him. Dude, hamstring. He's never had a hamstring injury too. I just can't see, especially if they go down and they're down 3-1. Right. Do you really want to risk his career? Because they still have the big 3, and next year they'll have Jimmy the whole year. I think their best year would be next year. So we'll see how that ends up. But let's go to MLB. The NHL, and talk NHL. Last night, we talked about it. Vegas, the game was crazy. Vegas played great the first quarter, terrible the second. Didn't start good in the third, go down 4-2, come all the way back, and then they get a 5-minute major, Nick, and they fight that off. And I was like, you know what? This, that's the kind of stuff that can build momentum. And then the game winner was just a thing of beauty. If you like hockey, that was a great pass and shot. What do you like here for NHL today? Do we have anything that can surpass that as far as game-wise?
Yeah, I don't think so. I was sleeping at that point when it came to the third period, so I didn't catch that overtime. But let's look at this Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers here. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they're on a 2-0 lead in this series here coming into Florida. And this total is sitting at 5.5 here. Both of these games, in game 1, they scored 9 goals combined. In game 2, they scored 7 goals combined. what makes the difference here? Because they're going to Florida. I think Florida comes out, they put the pressure on Toronto. They need to win this game here to keep their season alive. They're going to score some goals here. I'm expecting Toronto to keep up with them on the offensive side here. That over 5.5, come on, give me it. Against the over 5.5 in the Toronto Maple Leafs and that Florida Panthers. I mean, I don't know why it's not 6.5 here, but I would definitely smack that over, Craig.
The one bet jumped off, but it scared me to death because we've seen so many games. I think this could end up in overtime and then you lose. But Florida wins this game. I'm just worried about overtime. But if you take the 3-way line instead of the -2+ Bills there, you can get them at -125 on the 3-way line. So I think the only way I can play the game is if I play Florida on the 3-way line. They have to win this game. I think they're going to win the series. That's the crazy thing. Maybe you just don't bet this game. You bet you just bet the series. Is that possible?
Toronto.
You think Toronto's going to win?
I said it. I said it early in their first series that I had Toronto going to the Eastern Conference Finals. That there's something about this Leafs team that feels much different than the playoff chokers that we've seen in Toronto for the last 2 decades, however long it's been. Like the fact that they took care of business, both of their games at home, I think they win one of these 2 games in Florida. I thought the money line was ridiculous. Like why Florida was getting so much love in Toronto. I think this number is ridiculous. I mean, 2-1 right now in the playoffs. Like it wouldn't. Toronto's proven that they can beat Florida. There was nothing fluky about those 2 wins. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Florida kept hitting the post and they outshot them by 25 shots. Like they both squared up on each other, and Toronto was just better than them. And it's kind of like what we were talking about last night with the free play on Washington that we talked about. It was like, okay, Washington +150 at home, like that doesn't make any sense. This right here with Toronto being you getting almost 2-1 value on your money with this, it doesn't make any sense. I am not as big a believer in the must win, like this team has to win for this reason. I just don't think it works that way. And right now, I just think Toronto is better than Florida. I 100% think that they're gonna win this series. And honestly, Florida's been getting too much love, even in that Tampa Bay series. Yep. I thought that some of those money lines were out of whack with them. I just don't understand why Florida is being overvalued the way that they are right now.
Yeah, so to win the Stanley Cup, still right now the odds. Now Toronto this has flipped, by the way, since of course the series started. But Florida's +750 and Toronto +550. So that was flipped. They were about the opposite of that before game 1. Is there any team total action you like in this one? It's 3.5 for Florida and 2.5. You like the over? Was there one of those teams that you would like the over team total better, Nick?
I would definitely go on the favorite of that Florida Panthers just because their season, in my eyes, is on the line. I know that 3.5 does sound high. If you want and you think the Florida Panthers are going to win this game, I would take that team total on that side, 3.5. I do think because I'm on that over. But again, if you like the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would obviously take that 2.5 tonight.
Toronto is -1. Toronto is -140 on that. So there's a little juice attached if you like the Toronto side. The other side, I think, is like -120. So it's a little lower there. Griffin, any opinion here on the NHL plays for tonight?
Yeah, Craig, I'm on the same game. Another low total sitting at 5.5. Florida's down 2-0 in the series, potential 7-game series, backs against the wall. I'm with Robert on this one. I don't see that whole must-win situation type of thing. It just doesn't. In playoffs, anything could happen. Toronto, they played just as well on the road this year than they did at home with a record of 25-13-3. The market's just not getting a number on this series, and they haven't the entire postseason with Florida. Florida -225 on the money line, down 2-0. I get it. They're back at home and their backs are against the ropes, but I'm not buying it. Give me the Leafs here +1.5, fair value odds at -135. I think this is going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be a 1-goal game, and I think the Leafs definitely cover this at +1.5. Fair value -135. Give me the Leafs plus the points or plus the goals.
Against Ottawa, they did lose 3-2 in game 3. And what was a pretty close series as well. So if you like any of that trends, game 3, they did have a little letdown in the prior series. Robert, any opinion on this other night game?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of kicking myself right now. I feel like this is one that I'm going to wish. I released a 1-unit play on Winnipeg. I feel like I'm going to wish that I put a lot more on this. I like the Jets in this game, not because it's a must win or anything like that, just because And I'm kind of kicking myself why I didn't take Dallas in game one. It was very obvious that Winnipeg was probably going to have a letdown after that miraculous game 7 win against St. Louis, and that they were going to come out a little bit flat, a step slow in that game one. And they were. And Dallas is playing very well right now. Like there's nothing fluky about what the Stars are doing. I think the Stars can win the West. Like I would like to see them match up against Edmonton. I will hammer Dallas against Edmonton right now if they end up holding off Winnipeg. However, now I feel like Dallas is in a little bit of a letdown spot. You know, it's easy to forget because of all the focus was on how Winnipeg won their game 7. Dallas had a battle with Colorado. Like that was a series too. They got pushed all the way to the limit. They steal game 1 here on the road. I think that we could see them just take a little bit of a step back here. I thought that this money line should have been around -155, -150. That's kind of where I was expecting it. So I think that there's a little built-in value on the line, but I think Winnipeg wins this second game, and I think I'm going to be kicking myself for this one.
I kind of want to bet Winnipeg to win the Stanley Cup. They're 16-1 right now. If they win this game tonight, just say if, that's probably going to be 12-1, 13-1. And then if they could still win this series, I still believe Winnipeg can find a way to at least extend this series. If they win this series, I think you could get 2-1 on your money by just getting past this round. So as far as cashing out. So I kind of think Winnipeg wins this game. And I think I'm going to put just a little sprinkle on a future with Winnipeg. Right now, guess who the longest shot is? And they were, I think, 4th. Vegas is 17-1 to win the championship now. Of course, now they're down 0-2 in that series. And it's going back to Edmonton. But I thought both of those games were close. I still don't think – is there any hope for Vegas, Nick?
Nope. The way that the Edmonton Oilers have been playing, I'm still high on the Winnipeg Jets like Robert is, but the way the Edmonton Oilers, especially yesterday, the way they've been playing, producing goals at a very high rate here, I'm on the Oilers as well. I'm not shifting off those Jets to win the Stanley Cup just yet. I'm sticking strong with it. But what I'm seeing out of the Edmonton Oilers, there's no quit out of these guys. They play super fast, and obviously when McDavid gets the puck, I mean, nobody could stop this guy. There's guys all over the ice that's open, and he'll find the stick. So I'm high on the Oilers. I think the Oilers will make a run here and maybe play for the Stanley Cup.
If you've played the trend, the Oilers have lost every first period, every one of them in the playoffs. Yet they're up 2-0 in the second round, won the swim round. They've been unbelievable late in games. So you can if you in-gamed Edmonton or like this whole year, you just wait till they get down bet against them in the first, in-game in the second. You could double dip on every freaking game. You would be 6-3 or something like that as far as double dipping, and you're getting them at plus money because they're down 2 or 3 goals. So what a run Edmonton's had late in games. I'm excited to see. I think game 3 is going to be really, really close, though, so I can't wait for that next game. All right, so that's what we have for our plays today. Don't forget, we're going to be on tomorrow. Nick, we're doing 11 o'clock tomorrow, right? Eastern time.
Griffin.
I meant Griffin, sorry. I mean, you messed me up. You put the helmet on, and now I'm losing in my head. 11 o'clock.
No, we're in. I'm here.
All right, so Nick and I, or Griffin and I just said it again.
There you go.
Griffin and I will be tomorrow at 11. I'm actually just talking Nick into being there tomorrow. Did you hear me? just keep saying.
Maybe I'll pop on. We'll see how many sodas I have tonight. We'll see.
It's like when you're yelling at the wrong kid, and you have 3 kids, and you're yelling at the wrong one, and they're like, "That's not me." It's like, yeah, but I'm just making sure he knows that he could be in trouble too.
Right. I can yell at you if you want me to. Hey, by the way, I want to mention also in another 25 minutes at 2 o'clock here on the Doc YouTube channel, Raphael and I will be doing What Are the Odds? We'll be doing another live show at 2 o'clock where we will break down some more MLB, NHL, and NBA stuff. So be sure to check that out as well.
Hey, we need a new theme for next Friday. Last Friday was Hat Day with Derby Day. Today was Sunglass Day. Let us know what you want us to be the theme next Friday. Put it in the comments. Have some fun with it. All right, guys, have a great day. Hope all your bets are winning ones. Don't forget, get in on the top plays today. We've got an 8-unit game of the year going for August Young in Major League Baseball. And check out that Premium Plus. Click the link in the description and get on at just $49.99 for a month. Get you some winners. Good luck.